This mother here has a breakdown and starts crying when she finds out she is not going to be getting a big payday from her ex-husband in back pay child support.
You actually have a court order that orders Mr. Smith to pay child support to Miss Smith?
Yes.
You do? No offense, your interpretation is not the same thing as me reading it specifically from the court order, okay?
So he doesn't owe me child support?
Not after May 21st, not after May of 2021, he doesn't. Whatever he owed
I
you
still have Matthew. You don't owe me nothing.
in the District Court of Newton County, Texas, and it's in the interest of Barry Grace and Matthew Smith. Both parties are now present.
How is Matthew covered with health insurance?
I have Medicaid.
And has Mr. Smith paid you any money directly?
No, ma'am.
Since your last order? Okay. Did you have any safety concerns with your personal information being in this order?
No, ma'am.
I pass this witness, Your Honor. Mr. Smith, where are you working?
I'm working at Excel Mulching in Carthage, Texas. Well, that's where their office is.
How much are you making per hour?
Making $25 an hour.
And how many hours a week do you work?
I've only been working 50 for last month or so. Generally, we work 60 hours, but sometimes, like now, it's just slow, so we're only working 50.
Do you have any health insurance available through your employer?
I'm pretty sure that they offer it, but I haven't been here long enough that they've offered it to me.
How long have you been there?
Getting close to 90 days.
At this time, I asked the court to take judicial notice of the prior order.
The court will take judicial notice of its own file.
Were you working at Excel Mulching at the time of the last order in 2019?
I'm not sure what order that was. That's when they added some behind payments to it or something.
Have you previously worked at Excel Mulching?
Yes, ma'am. I've worked here on and off since 2013.
Okay, you've been back there for the last 90 days.
Yes, ma'am. My kind of work pipeline, you start a job, and once it's over, you have to find another job. Might last a couple months, might last 9 or 10 months,
I pass this witness, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
I have no more witnesses, and I want to pretty much non-suit the modification and just get a confirmation of arrears.
Do you actually have a court order that orders Mr. Smith to pay child support to Miss Smith?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, Your Honor.
When was that signed?
That was signed November the 20th of 2019.
All right. Let's see if you actually have that. Y'all be patient with me for just 1 second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here you can see the judge is very skeptical. He's asking her, do you actually have a court order that shows that Barry here owes Miss Smith any money in child support? And he's asking her this question. It's a rhetorical question because he knows the answer is no. And yet this attorney insists, yes, I do. When she knows. Now the question could then come up, well, is she just incompetent? I don't think so. I don't think she's that incompetent. I think she's practicing shady business here and is trying to push something along that she knows has no legal backing.
I got a court order signed by the judge on September the 11th of 2019. In this court order, it says that apparently there was some earlier custody issues between Mr. and Miss Smith and some third parties.
Yes, sir.
All right. So in this new custody issue from 2019,
The new custody.
that's okay, Miss Smith. I've got the paperwork right in front of me. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I don't. No offense. Your interpretation is not the same thing as me reading it specifically from the court order. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And there was also one titled Nunc of Prior Order. That was after that one.
All right. So there were 2 children in the court order, Gracie and Matthew. Miss Smith was named as the primary joint managed conservator. Mr. Smith was named as a possessory conservator. Amended order, it said that he was supposed to pay her $750 a month.
Yes, Your Honor.
Beginning October 1st. Okay. And the state has non-suited its request for modification?
Yes, because when we originally filed it, his wages were a lot lower, and now they've kind of gotten back to similar what it was in the prior order.
Okay. So based on what uh-oh, we just lost. Hold on, Mr. Smith. We lost Miss Smith. Of course, that would happen as soon as I had gotten this all figured out. We were getting ready to get finished. You got a problem in this case, Miss Leonard, a big problem.
Okay.
I have a question, Your Honor.
Hold on. I can't do anything until Miss Smith gets back. Okay.
Are you talking about the any child?
Yep.
Okay.
So right there, she said, are you talking about the any child? So you're going to see what that means in a second. They're going to pull up the court order and they're actually going to read it out loud. But right there, she just admitted, oh yeah, no, I knew that was there the whole time. So that backs up what I was saying earlier. And it's that, no, she's not that incompetent. She's just that shady.
This child support ended as soon as Grace graduated from high school. Mr. Smith, when did Grace graduate from high school?
That's what I was going to tell you, Your Honor. In 2020, she's married now, and she's been living with her husband for 2 years. She lived with me at the end of 2019 for about 6 months.
Okay,
That's when she graduated.
that doesn't answer my question, Mr. Smith. When did Grace graduate from high school?
2020, I believe.
Okay, so that means her child support would have ended in October of 2020, even though she graduated 4 or 5 months before that. All right. So
We do need to
October of
modify.
2020,
And that was my question.
and unfortunately, your pay record is also incorrect, Ms. Hill Leonard, because
Yeah.
your pay record continues this child support, which should have stopped on October the 30th of 2020.
Okay.
I mean, you can start
The
it up
state does
again.
ask for the modification, and we'll just have to get the pay record fixed.
Yeah,
at a later date.
you obviously have the right to start it up again because you have a child that's still under 18,
Mhm.
but you can't.
Yeah, we have to fix the pay record
You
for
got
the
to, well,
confirmation.
not that, but you got to fix that court order from 20.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to do the modification, and then we'll just not suit the confirmation of arrears. So that's in reverse.
Well, Ms. Smith is still not joining us. Mr. Smith, can you still hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So look, this is what we got here. I got one child that's still under the age of 18,
Yes, sir.
and you need to be paying child support for that child.
Yes, sir.
But unfortunately, the court order that was done in 2019 didn't order you to pay child support for that child.
Right.
Because the court order says that you pay $750 a month until any child, oh wait, that might be her. Look, that is her. Miss Smith, I have reviewed all of the prior court orders in this case, and there is a major problem with the court order that was done in 2019, okay? I'm going to put this up on the screen so you can see it. You see where it says that Mr. Barry Glenn Smith Jr. is supposed to pay you $750 a month beginning October the 1st?
Yes, sir.
You see right there where it has the number 1? You see where it has
Okay, so the child reaches 18 years of age, because I have
Yeah.
two that are now 18.
Well, yeah, well, the problem is, you see where it says any child reaches? You see where that says by 1?
Uh-huh.
All right. That means when any of the 2 children you had from this court order ages out, his child support stops.
Well, that's why I haven't been getting any.
It may be. I just know that the court order says what it says. So Mr. Smith's child support should have ended in October of 2020 when Grace turned 18.
Well, she didn't graduate till May.
Oh, she didn't graduate till the next May 2021?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well then it should go through May of 2021, but it's supposed to stop then.
But why when I get, why was it written like that? I guess is my question.
I don't
So
know.
does that mean,
I'm not the attorney who wrote it, so I don't know why it was written that way.
okay. So he doesn't owe me child support?
Not after May 21st, not after May of 2021, he doesn't. Whatever he owed
I
you
still
prior.
have Matthew.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The court order, the way this court order is written, he's not ordered to pay you child support for that child.
Do you mean I have to go back to court?
No, they've got a modification now. I can fix this today.
Because that's not fair that I know that Grace aged out, but Matthew has not aged out.
I agree. It's not fair, but I can't change the court order in the past, Miss Smith. All I can do is fix it from this point forward.
So all these months, Barry doesn't owe me anything.
He doesn't owe you anything from May. He doesn't owe you anything from June of 2021 until now. There was no child support ordered for that period of time. Okay. I didn't create the order, Miss Smith. I didn't write it and I didn't sign it. Somebody else did all those things.
So things are about to get emotional here, but I want to jump in real quick and just inform you that Mr. Smith has been making those payments all along. It's just the state has been holding on to them and not releasing them to the mother. So Mr. Smith here is going to then have to go ahead and start filing some paperwork to see if he can get that money back. But let's go ahead and find out how Miss Smith is going to respond to the devastating news that she is not going to be owed thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from Mr. Smith.
But that's clearly what the court order says. That's why we don't use any children in court orders. Yep, we don't do that any child stuff. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I don't agree with it, but I can't go back in time and fix it, Miss Smith. The law doesn't allow me to do that. All right, Miss Smith is here. Miss Hill Leonard, you can call your next witness.
Miss Smith,
Yes.
just to make sure, you said that when did Grace graduate?
I don't know. She was born in 2002, so 21 probably is how that works. That's when, and it was in May when she graduated.
Okay.
You don't owe me nothing. System is not for people to
I
do.
passed this witness, Your Honor, and I call Miss Shaw. Where do you work?
I work for the Office of the Attorney General.
And what is your role in the Office
I'm
of
a
the Attorney General?
I'm a financial specialist.
And in your role, are you able to obtain income information for the non-custodial parents?
I am.
And what have you found for the past year for Mr. Smith?
I found that he averaged $57,302.32 for the last 4 quarters.
And so the monthly average was
$4,775.19.
Were there any other court orders for any other children?
No, I did not find any.
Okay. I pass this witness, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
I have no more witnesses.
To the state rest.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Well, it's here, so I need to try to get it fixed and worked out. Ms. Smith, I have just placed on the record a copy of the pay record in your case with Mr. Smith. Is it okay if I look at this pay record?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, do you have any objection to me looking at this pay record?
No, sir.
All right. So I've already taken judicial notice of the court's file, which means I have looked at and reviewed all the prior orders in this case. The court is going to note on the record that the court order from 2019 did change custody of the children and gave the children back to Ms. Smith. However, the court order ordered Mr. Smith to pay child support until any of the 2 children graduated, which is a problem because there's a pretty good difference in the ages between the last 2 children, that being Grace and Matthew. So the way the court order is written, that would mean when Grace emancipated, Mr. Smith's child support effectively terminated. Now, Ms. Smith said that she thinks that Grace graduated in 2021. Mr. Smith, do you agree with that? Do you think she graduated the year after she turned 18, which is pretty normal?
Actually, she dropped out of public school and she finished.
She still got a
Hold on,
high
Ms.
school
Smith,
diploma.
Ms. Smith, don't interrupt. All right,
Tell him to tell the facts.
Well, Ms. Smith, if you give me a chance, I'll come back to you and let you answer the questions your way, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Smith, you said she dropped out of high school. When did she drop out of high school?
I'm not exactly sure, Your Honor.
All right,
She
so that
did
doesn't help me,
complete.
Mr. Smith. If you don't know when that happened, it doesn't help me, okay?
It was her senior year. She finished with a high school diploma through a home education type course thing.
But if you can't tell me when that
She-
happened, Mr. Smith, then
In
I can't
2020, I'm almost positive she graduated when she was 2020.
Miss Smith, do you know whether or not Grace dropped out of high school?
Yes, we went out of public school and we went to a homeschool where I paid
Okay.
for her education, and that's how
Okay.
she.
When did she drop out of public school?
I believe, actually, I believe she went her whole senior year to to private homeschool.
Okay. So you don't think that she was enrolled her last year in school in a public school?
No, sir, she wasn't. It was through a private school.
Okay. Through a private school, like a
Well-
homeschool.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
She is correct. I'll just
That's
look
okay,
back up.
That's okay, Mr. Smith. I haven't asked you anything else yet, okay?
Yes, sir.
Look, guys, you lived through this. I didn't. So I'm trying to catch up with 3 years of history in about 15 minutes. So let me make sure that the history I catch up with is correct, okay?
Yes, sir.
Why did it take the state so long to get Miss Smith to cooperate with their lawsuit?
Because I went to the actual place in Port Arthur or somewhere down there where I'm regioned at to go to the office, and they said I didn't have to do anything, and so I don't know. I'm just now getting emails to do this, so I don't know. I mean, I didn't even request this, so
Okay.
I don't know. What do you mean it's taking me so long?
Well, and this is a lawsuit, Miss Smith, where the state of Texas the AG's office represents themselves. They don't represent either you or Mr. Smith. So
Yes, sir.
in a modification suit, I have the right to go back all the way back to the date the parties were served to start this child support again. Unfortunately, Miss Smith, you were not served with this case until September the 28th of 2022. That means I can't start the child support again until October the 1st of 2022. How did you say that Matthew was covered for insurance, Miss Smith?
Texas Medicaid.
Okay. And Mr. Smith, do you have any other children besides Matthew
Grace and
that are
Barry.
still underage?
These are my only 3 children.
Anything further from the state?
I know, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, is there anything else you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Smith, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
All right. Look, y'all, this is real complicated. You didn't make it complicated. It's not your fault. I didn't make it complicated. It's not my fault. The AG's office didn't make it complicated. It's not their fault. All right. There's a bad court order in this case from 2019 that needs to get fixed. And I'm going to fix that today. I wish I had the right to go back in time and fix it, because this child, Matthew, deserves support all the time. But I can't fix court orders back in time. I have to just fix them and keep moving. Okay. The law doesn't allow me to go back in time and fix it. Okay. So I'm going to fix what I can. And that's what I'm going to do today. The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find that based on the testimony of the parties and all of the exhibits that have been admitted into evidence, as well as the prior court orders in this case, I'm going to find that as of her birth date in the year 2020, child support terminated. She was not fully enrolled in a accredited high school education program that allowed for child support to continue past her 18th birthday. Homeschools generally are not accredited. It takes special type of licensing to get accredited.
Why?
Ms. Smith, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me, Ms. Smith. Okay. I know what the law is in regards to this issue. And unfortunately, homeschooling is not considered an accredited high school diploma. So the child support is going to terminate as of October of 2020. The judgment will be granted as of the end of that month, and I'll find that Mr. Smith was behind in his child support the amount of $1,710.34, behind in his medical support the amount of $25. Effective November the 1st of 2020, child support terminated based on the court order from 2019. That's how it was written. That's how it has to be interpreted. There's no room for me to maneuver within that court order to start Mr. Smith's child support for the last 2 years. I don't have the ability to do it, but I can start it up now. And I am going to start it up now. Starting October the 1st of 2022, Mr. Smith is ordered to pay Crystal Smith the amount of $765 a month in child support. I'll order Ms. Smith to maintain the health insurance that she has on the child, and he will be ordered to pay an additional $150 a month in cash medical. Mr. Smith will pay back the judgment that he owes for child support by paying an additional, let's say $30 a month on the child support, and we'll say $5 a month on the medical support for those amounts. Those will also begin October the 1st of 2022. Mr. Smith will be responsible for court costs, but I'll give him until May 31st of 2023 to pay my court costs. Miss Leonard, did the state hear all the terms and conditions of my court order?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Smith, Mr. Smith, Miss Hill Leonard's office is going to prepare a court order for me. As long as it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it. I'm going to get it back to them, and then they'll make copies of it and send it to each of you. Now, you don't have to be satisfied with my ruling. There's no other way that a court can do anything other than what I did today, but you have the right to appeal if you wish to do so. If you wish to appeal, your appeal has to be in writing. It's got to be filed in the next 3 business days in the Newton County District Clerk's office. Your appeal has to be specific. You got to state in your appeal what part of my ruling you disagree with. And you're also responsible for making sure that you send a copy of that written appeal to all the other non-appealing parties. All right. Ms. Smith, Mr. Smith, I wish you both the best of luck. I wish there was
How much
something
is he
else.
behind?
I'm sorry.
What was the amount that you said he was behind?
As of October the 31st of 2020, according to this pay record that I have, he owes $1,710.34 in child support and $25 in medical support.
Your Honor, what about the child support that was paid since the child support was
You'll have to take that
terminated?
up with the Attorney General's office, Mr. Smith. I don't have any jurisdiction, Mr. Smith, to order the AG's office to do stuff with money. Once
Yes,
they
sir.
get the money in their hands, they do with it what they wish. That's a federal law, and I don't have the jurisdiction in federal courts.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank
All right. I wish you both the best of luck. I really do wish there was something I could do to fix that court order from 2019, but I cannot go back in time. The law doesn't allow it, but I can at least fix it from this point forward. You're both free to go. Try to have a good day.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you.
All right. Thank you both.
So it's so pathetic. Here we have a grown-ass woman crying on the call, crying in frame so everybody can see. Obviously, this is her trying to get sympathy, probably trying to get her way. This has probably worked for her. And it's like, look, if you're going to cry, just take yourself out of frame for a moment. We're all adults here. Nobody really wants to see you cry. This is pathetic. And this makes me think, why is she crying about this? Could it be that she has been banking on getting this money? And as you heard, Mr. Smith does owe some payments, about $1,000 worth. But that's a lot less than what she thought she was going to be getting. So he only owes her $1,000, and it's not thousands like she was expecting. What, around, I don't even know. I don't even know how much that would be. What, like almost 10,000, right? It sounds like she was expecting to receive about $10,000, and actually it's only about $1,000. And I would think that the money that Barry here has been paying to the state, hopefully that will be applied to the money he currently owes her. So Barry here is going to walk out pretty clean, honestly. But Miss Smith here is having a meltdown because she's not getting the money she thought, and insists on crying in front of everybody, in my opinion, to get sympathy, and maybe she's trying to get her way here. But because Barry is making more money, now he has to pay $750 for one child, when in the past he was paying $750 for, 2 children, I believe. But because he's making more money now, the child support modification will take that into account. So now he owes her $750 a month for one child. And again, it's like it's most likely that this woman's, the money she's getting is going towards her rent. So in this video, we've got an immature mother and we've got a shady lawyer. Fantastic. But all in all, fortunately, the judge used his eyes and said, no, this isn't right. And Barry here is, yeah, walking away a lot cleaner than you probably thought. So on that note, I'm going to see you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed that, leave a like and a subscription, and I'll see you later.